could watch you through the night. Never gonna let you out of my sight. No, I don't know what I'd do. I'd go mad if I ever lost you. Oh, these eyes are fixed on you. I won't answer when the devil knocks on my door. 'Cause I don't wanna go down the road I was on before. No, I was a liar and a cheat. Was blind, but you made me see. Oh, these eyes are fixed on you. These eyes are fixed on you. See, I finally understand, baby, what it means to be your committed man. So these eyes are fixed on you. Tomorrow's gonna come, I'll love you just the same. 'Cause I know who I am, and honey, that won't change. Oh no, a fool would only wonder, but I can't afford to lose. Oh, these eyes are fixed on you. Oh, these eyes are fixed on you. Oh, these eyes, oh, fixed on you, yeah. Oh, fixed on you, yeah. Oh, fixed on you, yeah, fixed on you.
What is going on, everybody? I see some people already talking back in the chat. I am here tonight. It is Tuesday. I don't even know what the date is today. It's the 25th. I've got a incredible run of bad luck running. Not bad luck, just life. We all have the same amount of stuff going on. It is cold, but we're having fun. It's going to get warmer here tonight. I am alone tonight. This is my first solo stream in 8 months. Can you believe it? John and I started this way back in May last year. We hadn't even met each other yet. Thank you, Cashew. Let me know about the music too if it's too loud, too soft. Yeah, so I'm alone. I didn't get to sound check with John. I didn't get to high five him. I didn't get the beat down that I normally get from him before we start on this deal. But I'm just kidding. But I'm here, and you know what? I've got some things for tonight. We won't go terribly long. I've got something I've got to manage later on tonight I'm excited about. It's coming up. Busy week. I'm going to be on Lala's Mommy Guides channel on Friday, very early, of course, and we're going to do a little Notion on there. But yeah, so we're going to figure it out. I appreciate you here. I hope you guys stick around for a little bit because I've got some thoughts. I got to get some feedback from you. Got a couple subjects to talk about. One of them, if you stick around a minute, you might get to see some pictures of a younger me. I might do a little bit of a reintroduction to who I am. You know, the truth of it is, John started doing this before I did. He came out, and when I met him, we got into tech, and I sort of shadowed up to him a little bit because of my love of tech and what we're doing and what we wanted to do. And we're going to still do that on Tuesdays, but he's not here tonight. And the joke of it is, we spent all last Tuesday talking about how, you know, hey, you know, he's not going to do Thursdays in the morning, but he's going to be here on Tuesdays. And the first Tuesday, the dude don't show. So, the truth of it is he's worked really hard as a lot of you have that have grinded your way to milestones, and he's doing something tonight I'm not going to get into, but it is family related. And I think it's a wonderful thing that he's reached a point where he can do that once in a while. And you know what? We'll shame him later for doing it on my night here, but that's I'm just kidding. At some point I needed to do a solo stream, and I've got some things. I'm going to do a small little tech thing just because, whatever. I'm going to welcome some new people. I'm going to get to you guys right now. Let's do that right now. We're still using vMix Social, so bear with me. I do see Brian's, and Brian's are here, and I saw the conversation. Brian, I've been kind of deep diving Family Guy. I don't know why. I hadn't watched it forever. So every time I see your name, I know what you mean. I see it all the time. The whole Brian Griffin. But don't feel bad. My name's Jeffrey Smith in real terms, and no one believes that's my name, although I'm not named after a famous dog on a raunchy cartoon. Brian Paul, how you doing? Nice to see you, Brian. I don't know, Brian, I don't want to announce personal things on here, but if you want to do that, I thought about it, then I thought, you know what? You'd have to tell me it's okay, and then I'll do it. But let's just get some people up here. Brian's are doing their thing, and I see Steve from the Islands is here. How you doing? I'm assuming you're working. I'm not sure. Let us know. I saw Brian. You guys are really into the name. Maybe Zan. How you doing, Zan? It's been a while, Zan. How you doing? I hope you're well. I see you on Instagram doing your thing. As you are, pushing things out. You really are working Instagram real well. I can really appreciate the effort. Sammy, sir, how you doing? I saw your interview with, was that Waves.audio recently? And that's an interesting streaming platform that they've got in the works. I'll be very curious to see how that goes. I got to check that out soon. So I'm going to jump up quicker to get here. I see Patrick's around. Hello. How you doing? Patrick had done, actually, I'm going to Friday do Notion on Lawless Mommy Guide channel, and I'm following up a very good, Patrick's very good at Notion. He's very good at explaining it, and just got done watching a video you had done with the community. And so hopefully I don't flub that up. So I get to jump on that thing next, so Tommy, you know what, Tommy, it's been a while and I keep seeing you get, I've been so busy, and I know it's a terrible excuse. I haven't been on your stream in a minute. Apologize, sir. Tom, apologize you and Tracy, but I'm getting my stuff together. Got a lot of things going on. I see Tracy's around, Llama. She's going to help me out. So, John's not here tonight. He's stiffing me. This is what it looks like with tonight. What do you think? I'm mad at myself, though, because I had planned on taking John, either the giraffe or the banana. And I really considered putting him over on that part of the screen and just leaving that guy just sit there all night, just railing on him for not being here tonight. The 7 days after he promised everybody he'll be here on Tuesdays, and well, he's not. So, but that's okay. Well, we're gonna move along. We're gonna be fine. Let's put some music on. Yeah, what's this here? I'm gonna get caught up, and then we're gonna jump in a couple things, and maybe if you guys want, let me ask you this. I've got 2 things that we could possibly do tonight. There's 3 things we could probably do tonight, but one of them would be illegal. So I have 2 things on the docket here tonight on a Tuesday. One, I got a little thing about some productivity apps that I'm using and I'm loving on. It's probably boring to all you guys. I think it'd be kind of fun. This music might be loud. Let me know, Cashew. Or, depends on which way you want to go, because I know that Tommy and Tracy may have a stream later. Do you want me to dive into some, a little introduction of myself outside of the John connection? Maybe even look at some chubby cheek little pictures of me from way back when. I got some photos that I just fell into the other day, and I thought maybe this would be fun to put them on stream. But I gotta tell you, it'd be as embarrassing as hell as well. So some really old, a little loud. Okay, very cool. Let me turn it down here. I thought it was a little loud. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, people. Play some drums. I will. I've got my my new interface going. We've been working on that. It's a little tricky though, Tracy. Yeah, we're getting that. We're ordering some special heads from, they're called Black Hole Tom's heads. They're special heads that actually fit. They snap on top of the shell, okay? And they're not like the normal mesh you'd see in some of these electric kits that you can hook up with triggers. that'll work, but I hate them. They feel like garbage and they sound like garbage. So these heads are a little bit expensive, but because of COVID, there are people in the house now, and that sucks. It's for playing drums, it sucks. And so what I'm going to do is meet in the middle. I've got a new interface, and I'm getting these special heads, and then the triggers are coming out soon, and they promised me I'll have them. And I'll be able to plug those in. But anyway, bottom line is you slap these heads on top of your toms and on the kick drum, and they still resonate off the head, but it drops the volume by 80%. But you still get a kit sound. You can mic them up. You can then put their proprietary triggers inside, and you can record that way as well, which is cool. And then I have cymbals by Zildjian. They were kind enough to make, which are 80% decibels. They also drop by 80%. So they got holes drilled into them, and they drop the volume down. So the whole kit will be at an 80% lower volume, but you can wail away. So that may have bored you, but that's what's happening. We're working on some things, so I'm hoping to have those soon. Yeah. So Tracy, yeah, thank you. We're going to do that. I always love that you ask. And Aaron, how you doing? Aaron and I have been talking a little bit here and there. He's working on some videos, so I appreciate him dropping in and saying hi, and that's pretty cool. You know what? You know what? I was going to go into the tech thing first. I'll go into my thing first because whatever, who cares? John's not here. John would probably unplug his camera if I went into this next thing with him sitting here. So that's why I thought, maybe this is a good night to pick it out. I'll have my 10 closest friends. I appreciate you guys being here. You are here on my debut solo stream. A little wonky to set up today, get things going, but we did it. And I'm excited to check it out. Yeah. Cashew's on to me. Do you want us to be reminded of the empty space John left? We see his darkness. Yeah. I suppose I should get rid of that. Thank you. No. Yeah. Aloha, Steve. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick introduction of myself, fly through that. And you know what? If you're nice, I'll show you a couple pictures of me throughout a little bit of my life. I'm not going to bore you to death with it, but it might be kind of fun to go back and kind of do that. It's either that or we talk about ISO on a camera. I think we've done that to death for a minute. So if you want to do that and hear about it, let me know. I've got some pictures wound up for when I was younger and I was loving baseball every summer. I have pictures from an era of when I was a youth musician. And I have a few pictures of when I had some llamas in the farm. And so I thought, you know what, maybe, I had to go out and maybe check it out. Maybe see what's going on. Maybe we'll do some photos. So maybe we'll do a show and tell. Yeah. So Brian, if you don't know, this is not for Brian, these diapers. Not yet. No, these diapers are for his welcome of his new lovely little baby the other day. And congratulations, Brian. I think that's fantastic and awesome. So, okay, Tommy, how do I change my 6100 from 125 shutter to 60? You know how to do it. You're just screwing with me. If it's anything like the 6400, all you got to do is go into camera settings and wind her down to 60. But on the 6400, you just got to click the dial. Just got to click at the bottom. Probably the same for you. And it should shoot down into the shutter settings and you wheel it over from 125 down to 60. So try that out. You could go into the settings, but I try first on your wheel. Push on the bottom. That usually sends me down into the option for shutter. And if I'm getting that wrong, if you think that 6100 is different, Brian, let me know. But I think that's pretty much what it is. Shoot it down there. If not, we'll get into the menu system and I hate the menu system on the Sony. John is right about that. It's not a lot of fun. So, yeah, this is not for Brian, not yet. I know. I probably should have put that out there, but I don't care. I click the dial and it says, what do you got here? I click that down. It says it's an auto ISO. Well, the bottom one, or did you click off to the side? Because if you click off to the side on it, it shoots into ISO. You got to be very careful to push down on it. But yours might also have the ISO and shutter, and then you got to move over. It's a good point. So see if you can highlight it once you get it down on the bottom. You should have ISO and probably shutter on that one, if I'm not mistaken. I can't believe that's that much different than the 6400, honestly. And I know Aaron, you use the 6000. It's probably the same thing, right? If you want to hot swap the shutter on the Sony, pretty sure you just punch down. If not, these menu systems. So I wonder if your menu system on 6100 is more like the 5100, which I think is even worse, by the way. But try that out and let me know. Yeah, the bottom. Oh, you did do the bottom. Okay. Well, I mean, when you do the bottom, do you get any option for f-stop or shutter? If not, let me know. So here's what we're going to do. While we're working on Tommy's shutter problem, which I got it, but not sure what I did. Okay. Okay, Tommy. I mean, did you do it through the dial? At least did we get it through the dial, or did you do something else slapping at it like a rogue monkey? Did you? What did you do there? Just curious. What's a touch loud, Arkansas? Is it the mic or is it the music you're telling me? Give me a feedback on that. I didn't have John here today, and I do have a tendency on this mic to eat it. So if it's too loud and I get a little too aggressive, you guys gotta let me know. I'll back up. Yeah, thank you guys for hitting the like. I appreciate it. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. You know what? I'm going to take this off. I've got a full screen over here. I'm gonna pop up. Yeah, the dial somewhere, then left and right. Yeah, I'm sure once you go down, one of those should get you to the shutter. It's pretty easy. I was 6 minutes behind. Okay, Arkansas. Thank you, by the way, though. I appreciate you jumping in and letting me know. 6 minutes. Now you're 6 seconds behind, so you caught up. I'm trying to stay on top of chat. John is not here. If you're walking in late, John had a previous engagement. He left me at the altar of streaming all by myself. But I'm here. I'm feeling strong, and we're going to do this. All right, so we're going to talk about my 5 favorite apps. But you know what? Let's do let's walk down a memory lane for a second so you guys can laugh a little bit at me. Maybe you don't even care. That's fine. We're gonna find out if you care or not. And if you don't care, well, you better get it together, people. Let's see here. All right, so here's what I think we're gonna do. Let me pull this up. Here we go. We got a whole. First of all, people keep asking, they ask everybody, why did you get into streaming? And I'm not going to bore you with that whole story. Most of you know, at the time that COVID hit, I was 20 years on being a gig musician. And a gig musician's a little bit different than, say, drumming for, Mariah Carey or who's recent, Justin Bieber, or that's not even recent. Gigging is gigging. You're doing studio work. I did a lot of independent work. Tons of gigging locally with music artists, and then nationally. I did it with an indie artist who does actually live out in New York, and I did that for 20 years. But when COVID hit, of course, we bailed, and like a lot of you, I looked at the chaos and went, what am I going to do here? And why do I want to do here? And I realized as I looked through everybody's stories. We are about stories. And I often wear a t-shirt. You see it on here once in a while. It's a famous quote by Doctor Who. So if you're a nerd, you may have seen these quotes, but it says, we are all stories in the end. Now the shirt is incomplete. It leaves off the best part because at the end of that, it should say, we are all stories in the end. Let's make them a good one. Let's make it a good one. And I realized that do I have a story? Like, I never really thought after gigging and farming and doing all the things I did, I didn't really think there were much of stories. And then I realized one day through COVID, as I was messing around and talking to people, that I really had spent my whole life in a lot of ways stirring the ink for somebody else to write their stories. And I thought, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I think there's something very valuable in supporting other people. But I thought, hey, here's an opportunity to do something I'm not comfortable with, and that is to tell my story and to put myself up front. And I'm not comfortable with that because as a youth, I moved around all the time, and I was always an outsider and uncomfortable, right? And I wasn't, as you'll see in some of these pictures in a second, I wasn't a beautiful child. I had red hair, freckles. I was wearing those husky jeans. I wasn't the most popular kid, and that's okay. Thank you. Yeah, Brian, Doctor Who's awesome, right? I mean, I didn't like the old versions of it. They scared me, but I got trapped in the new versions of them, and I absolutely love them. And the quotes are just amazing, and I love that community of that. Vin, how you doing? Glad you jumped in. Can you believe your boy's not here? Look at Vin. Look what I'm dealing with. Can you believe it? It's ridiculous. So, the end of your days, you just prize your most valuable supporters, right? And that's my wife. And that's her real name, Brian Griffin, Amy Fisher. And no one ever makes fun of that. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate it. She's a big supporter. And we all need the big supporters, right? Oh my goodness. Look at this. I'm going to do it just to make us feel better. Look at this. I'm here and it's about time you go solo. I don't believe that he's I don't even think he's doing anything. He just did this to screw with me. But John knows I adore him, and he was doing something very valuable tonight, and I support that. And thank you, John. One of the reasons I'm here solo tonight is because of your support, and I appreciate that, sir. I really do. MD Picker, I did see you mention howdy earlier. I apologize. It's always good to see you. You've been a lovely supporter, and it's been fun to watch you and Tracy and you guys all do your thing. And yeah, I do think, Tommy, there might be some truths to this. John needs more time. Look, you can't spend the kind of money that boy spends without, you know what I mean? He needs more time. You need a lot more time to go through the Sears catalog. So, oh, you won. So yeah, so John was doing, I believe John was it the adults against the little junior high kid basketball competition? I don't know why you're so proud that you won that. I mean, what are you, like 8'2", 400 pounds? And you beat a little kids? Why are you proud of that? Stop flexing, John. Yeah, he does give tough love. But you know what? I believe in tough love. My dad gave a lot of it. Gigi, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in. Look, if you're stopping in here, John is not here tonight. I am doing my first solo stream. And John and I started back in May. We met in April. And we'd always talked about me doing a solo stream. Here I am, forced into it because John decided to slough off a little bit. And that's okay, because we love John. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, thank you, Vinny. We'll get those socks. So while you're here, and this will really make John cringe, and I'm all about making John cringe, because, I'm going to skip right through the tech for a minute. We'll come on the other end. But you know what? Let's do introduction to Jeffrey. And this will make John nuts, I'm sure. But that's okay. So anyway, we were talking about stories. And we're talking about doing our own stories. And I really believe that. And I'm loving doing my story. One of the reasons that John needed Thursdays was to continue on his story and his channel and brand. And so we can meet up on Tuesdays with a little bit more depth to what we wanted to do and to focus on things in the right way. So nothing's wrong with that. I think I've supported it because I needed that space as well. And it's been very helpful already. So I'm going to screen share this little guy because you know what? I know how to screen share. Let's do this one. Here's me. I got some photos here. And what I'll do is, you don't care about all this. I know you're seeing my email. That's okay. It's not really okay. But here we go. Let's get him going. Look the other way, chat. All right. First of all, that didn't come up the way I wanted, but it's going to work out. Look at this guy. First of all, you can make fun of him. It's fine. Here's little Jeffrey. Now take a look at this guy. This is like 42. Look at his glove. I mean, this guy, this champ. I found these the other day, and I was just shocked at how weird I look as a youth. And I'm looking at so I'm like, well, this will be interesting stories. First of all, look at this patch. I got a red glove. I'm on the Yankees. Now, my dad coached me on this team. And if you might notice here, I'm missing a tooth. That's because my dad just got out of the Marines, and he still thought Marine-like. And one day when he was coaching, he whipped a ball at me at about 5 million miles an hour. And as you can tell, I'm barely 6. And it's shocking, but I didn't catch it. I did catch it, but I caught it with my face, and it knocked my tooth out. And my mom went nuts. That was a fun story. That was a fun story. So I'm just gonna blow through so you can see like some fun. This picture makes me laugh. So I played baseball every year, no matter where we moved to. We moved like every year because I love baseball. I played up through first year in college and I just loved it. But look at this picture. I got to tell you, if anybody is over, 40, this is right around Bad News Bears, right? 1976. This is really Bad News Bears. I mean, look at this kid. Look at those ears. What is he sporting? But this is my good friend. I remember Chris. And he's the type. We hung out. But what's really funny is like, this is the kid who probably ate the boogers. And these guys are the one. Here's the guy who did the, stats. And this is the guy who helped him do the stats. I have no doubt that this guy became mayor. All good stuff. I kid. I have no idea. I moved probably 6 months after this picture was taken. So it's okay. It's okay. So, yeah, so every year this picture got me too. So the next year after that, look at this guy. I don't even care what I look like in this one, although look at me. I'm still sporting that chubby checker little face. Got those freckles, yeah. But look at this guy. I love this. Is this not Reynolds right here? Is this not Reynolds look like? This guy was completely going with Smokey and the Bandit right here. Man, I would love to look like that dude. Like, that's a coach you want right there. Total Sandlot cruise going on here. Thank you, Vinny. Yeah, and this one got me not because, I'm filling out the uniform and squinting at the sun, but my mom, I noticed that this one, there was like 100 of these little pictures that you could cut up and give to people. And I thought, was my mom really thinking about cutting these up and giving them to her closest friends? What the what the hell were they going to do with pictures of her little son playing baseball? Why did she have 100 of these? But that's okay. I thought it was hilarious, and mom was kind of a nutter. I don't have to tell you, but I do not look good in yellow. I think we can all agree on that. Now, this picture interests me in my baseball history, not because I'm still looking the same as I did when I was 7. Can you pick up my brother in this picture? My brother's on this team. See, I'll give you a minute. I see the, yeah, it is a Sandlot crew, 76. Yep. Hi, Sonny. I see you there. I apologize. I'm not getting anything up here, but I just want, well, I mean, they might've put them on the refrigerator. I'm going to give you a couple seconds because I know there's a lag. Can you pick a row and pick my brother out? No, so I'm down here, way in the bottom left here. And I'd be shocked if anybody can get which one of these are my brother. And I know it's probably hard for some of you to see. Okay, so John says front row, second to left right here. That's what he's picking. I'll give it another second. Patrick says your brother top left right here. I'm guessing. Wait another second. I'm going to let you guys know. And tick tock, tick tock. Okay, Brian Griffin, the man that's famous name, second from the right on the bottom. So we've got another one. All right. You sure? And the middle with glasses. Oh, whatever, Vinny. All right. So here it is. I kid you not. And this is disturbing to me. And I think we ought to have a come to Jesus about this. Okay. This cat right here is my brother. Okay. This guy. I just want everybody to take a look here. This is me. This is a brother. He's a year and 2 months older than me, I think. What's going on here? Okay. I sunburn in the shade. Look at this guy. I'm husky, wearing husky jeans from Kmart. I have a vertical leap of an inch. This dude's a year older than me. Look at him. Not an ounce of fat on him. Hurdles, tans. Tell me there's not a milkman in our life here. How? Yeah. There's no way this is right. There's no way this is happening. To this day, I don't get it. Yeah. Actually, I look like my sister, so I think he could be adopted, but I saw the records. It didn't look like it. And I like this one because I'm getting older. Look at that. These are boys. We're starting to fill. This is a really good team, by the way, although we're missing a few of our players for this picture. Who knows where? They're probably drunk. This is a summer league, but look at this guy. Who wouldn't want this dude as their coach? Is this guy not badass? I mean, man. When you went into a game with this guy, yeah, we beat some dudes. John, I don't know, man. We could do a gene test. I don't know. I questioned the genes for a long time, and my mom just kind of went, well, whatever. You know, I guess weird things happen, but we are not related. We are not. We both ended up kind of looking like my dad. Maybe maybe. Is that Gordon Lightfoot? John, that's awesome. Is that Gordon Lightfoot? I'm telling you, right? Look at this dude. That's a coach that brings the guys beer. Right? Love it. I don't know. Looking back to these pictures, this is high school, and but these are new uniforms. And the reason I bring this up, I still have that hat, by the way, which is kind of crazy. These are new uniforms. This is in Mississippi. I finished high school in Mississippi, and we play a third game in. I slid into second base, and a guy, his away game, kicked me in the face, and he broke my nose. And blood was going everywhere. And out comes our coach, who was really Southern, cropped hair, serious business. And he's come out and thought, here's my coach. He loves me. He's coming out. He's trying to get the towel on me. And the first thing he says is, you better not get blood on these new uniforms. That's all he cared about. And I sat on the bench. I rode the bus home for an hour. Yeah, good times. We had some real fun in the old days, didn't we? Oh my God. So yeah, I'm telling you, smooth sounds of the 70s. It's just what I'm just telling you. Sundown. Did I miss Sundown come in here? I apologize. I'm kind of running all over the place here. So I'm going to pick up one thing I do want to show, and I'm always wary about showing certain pictures, of course, but I'm going to show a couple of these. I talk about them all the time, and that's my dad. First of all, one picture I found that we have to talk about quick. Tell me anybody from the 70s and 80s. This is my sister. I'm going to get rid of this. This is my sister. Is this not like every beginning of every horror movie that ever was? Like, this is right out of Halloween. I found this picture and I'm like, this is so perfect. I don't. Oh, Brian, really? Is Avery there with you? Is Avery? Oh my God, that's amazing. Love it. Yeah, anyway, I found that picture. So this is a picture of my dad. He just got out of the Marines after a long career. Remember that guy? This is that guy. He's my brother. There's me. I know you can't tell. My mom's a twin. And this is her son, my age. And he was like a brother. And I just want to say, let's just focus on the Marine and his cigarette right about here. And let's just measure how close that is to his youngest son's head. I'm just saying. I can't tell you how many ashes seem to rain down on me. I don't know what it is with him, but he never used his fingers. He just put the thing in his mouth and he'd smoke it without his fingers, and ashes would go everywhere. He's just like, I'm just going to fall where they go. He didn't care. So he was a mountain of a man. He was a lovely man. And he was a great father, and he's still here with us. But yeah, so anyway, I wanted to show my dad. I found an absolute treasure trove of pictures his mom must have had saved from the Marines and military, and that he brought back from Cuba because he was involved in the Cuban Missile Crisis. He was on a ship with other Marines, and they had the cards of all the places they were supposed to go to, like a deck of cards if they got on shore. It's just crazy, but his story is an incredible story, and stories need to be told. And so, okay, let's go quickly. I'll catch you guys caught up. So I'm going to move over to, let's just do a couple pictures of the music stuff just because I'm here. Yeah, see, John, I told you I was going to do this, John, without you here because this would drive you nuts. And so I wouldn't do this if you were here. All right, so look at this dude. Look at that. He's some serious business, right? His little drum, his little hat. I look like a toy soldier going on there. There's a little band, from the little band that could, when we used to have majorettes that had fire and everything. And I'll fast forward these because these were more for me when I found these than for you guys. But actually, this is Carnegie Hall. And when I was a junior, I tried out for America's Youth in Concert, which is a symphony and orchestra from around the United States made up of mostly 20-year-olds. But I actually got in when I was 17. I'm way back here. You can barely see me. I'm playing a drum back here at Carnegie Hall where we opened up. And yeah, so fun, you know. Picture looks as old as I am. So yeah, it was America's Youth, the concert in 1984. Oh, God, I'm old. These were just some pictures in the book. So what they did is they had photographers come on the buses, and they took pictures of the groups along the way. And then they did like a yearbook at the end. And I was thumbing through this, but look at this guy. He looks, I must have been watching a choir or something. Must have been around somewhere in France. But look at this guy. He looks thrilled. He doesn't like sitting there at all, man. And yeah, this ended up, this was another percussionist who ended up being my girlfriend on the trip. Because, you know, musicians. Look at this guy. I got mono, and look at that. I'm all puffy, and took the picture and came home, and for the next month and a half, I had mono. Oh, look at those white pants. We're out in a town somewhere in Europe. This is my roommate. Oh, good times. And I was thumbing through, and I thought to myself, as we were going through all these different locations, this is why people hate Americans. Right here, right? I mean, you got the Eiffel Tower. It's just a monumental piece of work and art, and my buddies are out there doing this. So I don't know what to tell you, people. That's don't do that. Don't do that. Thumb through. These are just some things I found along the way. There's a million of these photos, but some friends of mine. Look at me though. Look at me in Florence with my friends. I lost a lot of weight on that trip. I'm wearing those cool mid 80s pants. Look at this polo shirt. Yeah, I'm sporting. But here's one thing I noticed. Does anybody else have photos from the 80s yet? I'm telling you, mine are starting to fade. I need to deal with that. But I have to tell you, I really enjoy having printed photographs. I really enjoy having an album. Does anybody else like that? I really like going back and looking at the photos. I know these guys are on sideways, it doesn't matter. And I think we are losing that a little bit, right? With our stories. And I know we have a million, like I do think back, I wish I do have a lot of pictures. I was lucky because my parents shoved a camera in my hand when I left for New York. We went to Spider College. Anybody from New Jersey know where Spider College is? We stayed at Spider College, I think it's Spider College, and in New Jersey. We practiced for a few weeks, met up. Then we did Carnegie Hall, Washington, D.C., you know, a lot of those. And then we flew over to Europe. But I wasn't going to take pictures because I wasn't going to be cool. You know, the kids aren't going to do that. But then I realized, man, this is kind of neat. There's no way for me to remember any of these things. So I started shooting, but it's weird because when you're doing that, you have no idea what you just took. You just like fill it up, pull the roll, fill it up. And I'm so happy that I actually took my parents' advice and just took a ton of pictures, because I ended up with some great memories that you can't have. Those stories you can't get back. And it was just enough balance of getting photos and yet living in the moment. And now I feel like I got a billion photos, and that's great, but I never go back and look at those stories. I'm always moving on to the next thing so quick. And so I don't know, man. Yeah, this, interesting. So Tommy says, I uploaded all mine to Shutterfly a long time ago. I'm glad I did because of the fading. I think I might do that. Do you think Shutterfly then is a good way to go? Because I'm in the market for that, because I mean, look at how they're fading. Let's go back to this dude. Oh, I mean, it's turning colors. And so, I mean, you might be able to correct some of that. You can't correct this guy, but you know, I love the film, and I love the idea of that. And I don't want to lose that. Amazon Photo, Brian says, is better. Is that right? I saw that they added that on, and I was going to take Rider College. Did I say Spider College? You can tell it's been a while, man. It's been 30 years more. Maybe Rider College. Thank you. Yeah, that sounds right. Why did I say Spider College? Something stuck in my head about that. So we spent some time there in New Jersey at Rider College. Thank you, guys. I don't know New Jersey. I just know that, you know, the outlaws from there, mafia's from there. So anyway, that's that whole deal. And my last pick run would be Little of the Farm. I found some pictures of the farm. I thought I'd just run through those real quick and see what's going on. It's a mystery. These are old pictures. Again, we didn't have cameras back then, even in the mid 90s. So here's what we're looking at. Get rid of that. Here's what we're looking at here is a barn that my dad and I built. I'd never built a barn in my life. Now, keep in mind, I got out of college. I had business degrees and I was supposed to go do whatever. Then I told my parents I was going to raise llamas. And then somewhere in the middle of that, we're like, we should also raise emu. And so my buddy asked if I could build a 120 foot long by 24 foot wide enclosure. And I said, no, I can't. No idea how to do that, dude. I graduated college. I can barely write a paper. And we didn't have internet to figure it out. My dad knew enough, and he was a farm boy, and we went there and we put poles in the ground and built these barns. And we built a couple of them, one for the alpacas. Look at this guy. This is me. Actually, this is in Mississippi with the guy that I ended up doing the llama farm with. But look at these shorts and legs. Stop it. There's an ostrich. There you go. Fun stuff. Some rheas back there, some emus. There's a whole mix of them. Those birds are a little bit weird, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. So this is the farm that we had with the llamas. It's up the road. It's only about 10 minutes from here. And what a lovely farm it was. Very German, built stone house in the 1820s. What a beautiful property. The barn was also built with stone on the bottom. It was wonderful. Ponds out here, all deal. So this is the other building that my dad and I built for the alpaca. So I learned a lot that I never would have done had I not gotten into this deal. So thank you, Darren. I see you here supporting me, and I'm not trying to miss you, man. But yeah, we ran water, we ran electricity. My dad did a lot of electricity when he wasn't parachuting in the Marines and teaching people how to jump out of planes at very, very dangerously low altitudes. And so we fired it all up, and that was just a great time. It's a hard time. I was in my 20s, early 20s. And there was no internet really to rely on. You were just doing your own thing and asking friends how to do stuff or just making it up as you go. But I do miss it. I really do. So these are, I did go to La Paz, and we brought back some animals. We went to the mountains of La Paz, and we brought back about 30 animals from up in the mountains. And you can see, remember I was telling you about how they're dreadlocked. These are up, this is from the mountains, these pictures right here. And these are the animals we picked up, but you can see that dreadlock. It's a beautiful fiber. I know this is tech. This is all tech. And this is one of my favorite pictures. Again, we didn't have, this is 1996. And he had a nice camera, and he took this shot, and he just happened to nail it. And this is one we used for our ads when we got back. And I love this, but this is our group of animals. They eventually came back, sat in the Truman Center for 90 days, and then they got shipped up. And they were beautiful animals. That was a lot of fun to do. It was a lot of fun. The locals are amazing, and what a great time, great story. And these are just some of the kids once they got back to our farm and had kids, and crias, babies. That's why you do it. They're fun. Some of the most lovely, gentle animals you ever run into. And there's some of the fiber that we're trying to make. So here we go. Here's one of the studs brought back. And that dreadlock. That's pretty much going to be, and this is the farm. This is where they ended up. They had 40 acres, and they're hanging out in the pasture, doing their thing when it's not 40 freaking degrees below zero. I will get to the chat in a minute because it's kind of hard for me to do both. And these are another cover shot that we did with the animals once they got back to the property. It was a great shot. He loved photography. He wasn't, really that great, but he just nailed it, and it was beautiful. John, you're asking if I rode dirt bikes. I did, but the problem is we kept moving around. I never really got comfortable with it. My parents didn't want to keep moving stuff like that around, so they sold it, then we never got them again. And then I never got into dirt bikes, and I always was upset about that. Although my dad would say things like, you're a little chunky, you probably fall off. That's what he would say. And it's okay. I don't care. It's fine. Tina, how you doing? Thanks for walking in. We're going to do tech in a minute, but we're just doing a little bit of a self-introduction, having fun tonight. John's not here, but he's here. He's here supporting, and I appreciate that. So to wrap this up, there's a couple more here. There's a little baby. I love the babies. That was always the best thing. And it's weird now to go look at these pictures and wonder where they ended up. I know where a lot of them ended up. Some are still alive, doing their thing. They do live in their mid-20s, long time. And so it's always interesting. Look at this guy. Look at this cat. Tell me he's not a beautiful creature. Look at that guy. And they will come up and they will literally, I kid you not, ask my wife, they kiss you. They will come up and they kiss your lips. This idea that they'll spit to spit is a lie. Although I want to warn you on one thing here. Take a look at this guy behind him. This guy here, where he's got no ears and they're down. Now what's happening here, this is feeding time at night. I'm sure what the problem is there's 3 other buddies of his or hers, and they're annoyed with each other because they're trying to get the grain and they love the grain like me and Sugar. And they will spit at each other to exert dominance and get their food. Kind of like John and I. John and I will spit at each other sometimes when we want to speak. But you know, it happens. This is an article in a magazine that they had done about the farm. Now, back in the day, we didn't have internet like you have now. We have these big publications. This is a massive publication. This is our farm. And they highlighted us, our animals we brought back. It's a lovely soul that helped us collect everything. Our farm. Grand Companion. Oh, seems like yesterday. And there's a little picture of all of us. This is our, over here, farm manager. And just right here on the left, it's my buddy. He's the one that was in the llama farm with me, and these are all of our guys. So it was a great time. You know, what can I say? You know, that gets us up to where then I got out of that about 2000, and I got back into music, and I started touring and playing music and recording, and a new chapter in my life. And I didn't bring that into here tonight because this was already too long. And I'll do that another night or another way. You know, we'll talk about my professional music life. There's a lot more footage of that. There's a lot more things to talk about. But, you know, I miss that. You know, how you doing, LaQuita and Corey? Nice to see you. I'm not going to skip everybody. I'm going to come back, but yeah, massive publications back then. And it was always that thing, right? There were big publications. They came out usually monthly, and everybody would fight to get the best ads in this industry in, and I was in charge. That's where I cut my teeth into Photoshop, into marketing. One of my degrees was in marketing. I loved working with Photoshop and creating those full spread or those 2 spread ads. And I thought that's so fun. And it would come out and would look amazing in that beautiful print. And everybody's trying to outdo each other. And I love that creativity. And I love the magazines where you could sit and look at everybody's work, have a coffee. I'm not saying I'm like, oh, get rid of the internet. I'm just saying it was a nice time. That part was cool. How do you delete John's? Yeah, if you don't know, you're a terrible mod. Yeah, John's no quitter. I'm going to scroll back just a couple minutes. I'm not going to go way back when trained, but I'm using vMix still, so it tells me I'm back 8 minutes right now. Yeah, Tommy, there might be something better now. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to look at Shutterfly as well. I think it's not a chicken, but I can appreciate it. My dad, who is one of the most brave men, I can tell you, he was helping me one day in that emu barn, and the enclosures, the birds were inside because we didn't have the closures outside, put up the fencing. And we had to go in to put up some outlets, and he was wary. And I'm like, they're fine. You're going to be fine. They're sick. They're like 8x8s. My dad goes in to wire it up. I don't know what spooked these usually calm birds, but they went crazy. And they're big. I mean, top of their head, they're 6 feet. But what's scary is the claws. They is dinosaur, and they can gut you. I mean, they really could. And they can break your legs. But they started going crazy. When they go crazy, they just close their eyes and go, and they would literally climb up the walls. You remember the beginning of the first Jurassic Park, where he's enclosed and you just hear all that banging going on in the container? I heard it. I had to go down there and save my dad. My dad was like, I'm not having any of this. And so that was the one thing he said he was afraid of. And yeah, you do want to be careful with them. Yeah, the barn builder. I love building barns in the end. That ended up being so much great stuff. I really enjoyed that. I'll get caught up here. Patrick. Dinosaur birds. Yeah, pretty much, guys. I'm not going to lie. Ostriches were probably the most scary of all the birds. Then you have emu. The rheas weren't as scary. They're in that same family, though. So yeah, thank you again, Tina, for coming in, saying hi, and supporting this solo dig down the road here. I really appreciate it. And look, we all have to do our first solo. I've done solos, not maybe on this scale. In our LSP group, I did solos, but they were a little bit more controlled and within a family, grouping. But you're my family, right? I mean, no one's called me Chubby Checker yet, although that's okay. I was a chubby kid. But my brother, that dude, you know how you hand down clothes from your older sibling to your younger sibling? I couldn't even get a leg in his stuff. What? I can't wear this stuff. It looked like a baby doll top every time I put one of his t-shirts on. It was just not even worth it. So whatever. Let me get caught. The chat is always lagging for me lately. Is it, you mean because of you or because of chat itself? Chat's not lagging for me. I just got sidetracked and I knew I would. So, it's going to be fine. But I don't feel like we're lagging. I think with vMix, we're pretty on point for the most part. Don't delete them. Keep chatting. Brian. All city boys know that real chickens come from KFC boxes, but how did you glue the parts back together and make them move? Yeah. The worst part when you moved them, because you have to catch them and they run like 100 miles an hour. So what you do is you circle them. My partner and I would circle them. We knew how to get them cornered, and you knew what would happen on the chain link fence. They'd run, they grab, and they jump in the air. So the trick is when they run, you got a time when they jump in the air to get your hand underneath their legs and one around their neck, because you have to carry them like this so their legs are doing this out front and you don't want to stand out there. So my wife can tell you stories. Jim Boswell, how you doing? I don't know if you came in earlier. I'm a little bit behind on things because I'm soloing here tonight, and that's not really an excuse, but I'm using it tonight. Yeah. Jim, how you doing? Nice to see you. We've been in a couple other streams. I've seen you around. Seen a new one tonight. All right. I don't know what that's about. Tough 2 weeks. Yeah. So I'm glad to see that John's on the mend, and everybody was really kind to reach out to him. I felt like every day I would reach out and say, hey, John, how you doing? And it just seemed like nothing new was coming along. That's kind of the way this is. But I feel like he's getting traction, and so I'm glad to see that, because it's been a haul. And it wasn't just John, it was the whole family, unfortunately. So for all you who had to deal with that, that's not a whole lot of fun. So, all right, let's move on to the next thing. We're getting late here. Pop, I'm going to drop down these photos of this guy. We don't need to see it. I'm going to bring up, I had it up, but I accidentally dumped it. All right, so I didn't do all the top 5 things. John always does that really well. He always goes in. He does a really good job of top 5. He's got a stinger, and I went, if I start doing stingers and top 5s and titles right now for this kind of stuff, I'm literally going to have a breakdown. And I only did this just because I was having fun, and maybe you guys will care, and more or less so I can hear about how your, maybe what your apps are, what you like to use. So yeah, I'm more into productivity than even tech. And a lot of it is I have a little ADHD. I'm a little scattered. I don't know if any of you can relate out there in the creative world. I bet you can. And so I'm always trying to find ways to be a little more efficient, productive. So I narrowed down my problem. Let me know if you guys have the same problem. My problem is I need a lot of visual cues. I need to see the path visually. So that's one thing. 2, I need my communications to be consolidated, because I hate having windows all over the place, especially during streams. I don't like that so much. And then I want information that I want to gather. I want it to be easily found and accessible, because who cares about gathering key information if you're never going to have a good way of reclaiming it or finding it or reusing it? So I'll go through these real quick and just be curious if any of you have a suggestion for something better, or you can give me your idea what you're using, but this is going to be my deal. Darlene, I see you. How you doing? 2 seconds she dropped in. Look at that. I can see 2 seconds. Love that. I don't know, John. By the way, John, I did look for shortcuts for vMix Social, and I didn't find any. So I don't know. It's kind of a bummer too. I don't understand it, but I'm going to keep looking. Maybe somebody wrote a script somewhere. All right. So my first thing is going to be about communication roundups. I can't stand having, I don't know about you. I use WhatsApp. I use Messenger. I use Instagram, direct messaging, email, of course. Dropbox isn't exactly a messenger, but it's a collab tool. So I don't know. I always seem to have all these tools open and it drives me crazy, and it really starts to suck the resource of a computer. So I found a mail client called Mailbird, and there's a couple out there like this. There's a free version of this, by the way, but there's also that typical paid version, which is a couple dollars a month, I think. Not bad, a couple dollars, 2 or 3. And I like it. I got to do a little bit of a, I'm going to have to put up a little bit of a censor thing because I can't have some of the information out there. So it's just the way it's going to roll. So I did kind of hide some of that information. It's not even the email. It's just, I don't want people's stuff to come up on accident. So, we have over here the icons for everything that I want to use. These are my 3 email accounts, my Gmail accounts, and you can put a ton. You can put 20 Gmail accounts if you want in here, or Outlook or whatever. It's all, and it's so easy to hook up. So I love that. And of course you can have your start and your sends, and you can kind of sort that way. But down here, what I like is you can add in, I'll pull it up, but you can add in all these apps. So if I want all my attachments to show up, all my contacts, WhatsApp I have, Messenger, I have Google Chat, Discord, you know, for example. So you can add all these fun things in there. You pick and choose what you want to put in there. And I see I have my, sorry guys, apologize for that. So you can put all these apps up in there. It's great. And I can probably pull that down. There we go. So what I ended up doing is I have chats up there, my WhatsApp, my Google Space. I'm not going to show you conversations, so don't worry. Not that it matters all that much, but you know, privacy is a good thing. Try to practice it. So my WhatsApp is important. So why I like this is because I can have my stream up, or I'm working and I just have one thing up that I can just push away, put down, and not have staring me in the face. Or I have different notification sounds for each particular thing that comes in. You know what I'm doing. It's just one of those deals where I can round it up, put it all under one roof. And for me, this puts all my communication, including, and I don't care if you see this, but like, this is my Dropbox. So I can get on my Dropbox with one click. I have my Google Drives down there. I can't stand having to go pull up another app or pull up another. I know it's streamer problems. I hear you, but still like it. Still like it. So anybody use Mailbird? Has anybody ever used it before? I really dig it. If you have one like that, anybody using a mail client? I guess that would be my other question. Nobody uses a lot of mail clients too much anymore because they're stuck into either Outlook or Gmail, but I am always looking for something fun, but I would recommend Mailbird after everything I've looked. So that would be my way of socially gathering, email gathering, blah-de-de-blah, blah. So then my next thing that I really like to use, I'll bring that up, and we don't need a censor on that. I've talked about this. I'm sure a lot of you have used one. And that's mind mapping. This one's called Xmind, but there's a lot of different mind mapping. So I like visual building. But the trick is it's got to be either free or cheap, and it has to work with me, and it has to be easy. I don't want to have to spend time learning it. I don't have to spend time using it, or there's no point. So I just brought up one of my files here, and this is the script generator I'm working on for YouTube, and it's a template. So I'm thinking maybe, for example, this is the path, right? And then at the end, let's see if I can shrink this. At the end, we have the end. Okay. There's probably a fit in here. Let me try to fit it in there. Fit. That's fit. I don't know how well you're going to see that. So it goes from left to right. So, and all I'm doing here, so say I have a video that I want a little more thought on. I can have a template, and I can quickly just drop director notes, script notes, director notes, meaning like where I'm going to do a location at the desk somewhere else. If I have key points I want to cover, B-roll, thought ideas, right? And so pretty much I use this. See if I can get over here. There we go. I use this as a way to build my path. Okay. I like the visual. It can be overdone. You don't have to use it as deep as what I use it in, but you know, you can use it. You can also use it for things like idea dumps. So if you never use mind map like this, what I like about it is how easy you can just change things around. You're never stuck with anything. And all you have to do is hit enter or tab to create a new topic, and branch out, or hit enter for, you know, a second topic. I don't know if I'm typing correct. So for me, I can do diagrams, all sorts of hierarchies. If I'm doing a website, I can do then a whole menu system and a hierarchy idea to give to a client or myself or to whoever in probably 5 minutes. And I'm out the wall. And you can do all sorts of designing here. You got all these different types of maps that you can choose from, pre-built. Get into, you have, let's see if we got shapes here. That's not gonna want. Style. So if I go here, I could probably find, yeah, sign the top down like you would like, here. So you can just change out really quickly any way you want these ideas. So a mind map for me works really good for anything from structure to a path to a journey or whatever. So I'm a big fan of that. Jens, I see you. How you doing, Jens? Thanks for stopping and saying hi. It's probably better when you use it deep. I expect that. You're probably right. It's always better when you do it deep. Laquita and Corey. The end does typically belong at that point. I know nothing more than that, though, looking at this script. And it's just it was just a template. It's a template that I can use and generate new things. It's still a work in progress, but I really think if I have a way to have a skeleton for my scripts to kind of just plug ideas in, it puts me in a better place of knowing where I'm going to go. But I want something that I can do in like 10 or 15 minutes, not in an hour or 2 hours. That's just not going to work. We need something that's going to work really fast. So mind maps like this work, and you can have a script summary. You know, you can build all these things out however you want, and do things. I'm not going to get, this is not a mind map tutorial, obviously, but I said I like things that are visual for building scripts or building websites or building a process or group hierarchy or architecture. Mind maps do that. They're wonderful. So this is kind of my way of being more efficient at getting my thoughts out on paper. I do use paper at first, and then I take it to the mind map usually, because paper I always think is the best. So I see what you're saying. So my next thing, let's get rid of that. Number 3. Okay, so now we're getting into an issue that really has been a problem for me. Now, everybody knows I use Notion, but my biggest problem is, I don't know, does anybody else go and read a bunch of articles or Kindle books, or maybe you're on Medium or Flipboard, and you read and you want to highlight out of a 20-minute article, you want to highlight 2 things and you want that handy, and I'll highlight it. That works great for Kindle and some platforms, not right, but they're spread out. And websites, good luck. You know, it's not like you're going to go to PC Magazine and just on their page highlight, and that's going to work out for you. So I thought about it, and I fell into Ali Abdal's. There are other people who use this process, but I figured there was a better way, and there is, and I've been using it. So here's what we do. So if you have if you have a magazine article, so let's say we have a PC Magazine article, and I love this. Let's find something for John here, because he wants tech. What do you think, John? This GeForce 3080 right here. There we go. So John and I love this. We want to read on this, but I only have a couple items in here I really want to highlight, okay, and keep for future reference, maybe for stream. So you've got a browser, of course. What do you call an extension for Instapaper up here at the top right? You probably can't see it. It's right up here. Okay. And all you got to do is hit Instapaper, and it's going to go to Instapaper. And this is a platform that takes in everything. Okay. It takes in magazines. It takes in websites all over. It doesn't matter what site where you're at. And you can send all the stuff into one area, one bucket. And so you see right here, it sent this, which is awesome. So now I have this article. I have this article here, which is great. But now what, right? Unclick, Jeff. Let's go into it. So you get into the article, and like Kindle, let's say you want to highlight. I like this. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to keep that. Like this, I'm going to highlight this. John wants this because John's a big fan in the factor. So now we've highlighted, but again, what are you going to do with that, right? So that's great, but now I still have to go down and dig through these things. So I love Instapaper because it takes all my articles, all my research, and you can tag them, you can put them into buckets and all that stuff. It puts all this in here for you, the picture and everything. It's really sweet. And it's telling me I already have, right here, it's telling me I have 2 notes already. So that's great. But the joy, if you have Kindle and you have all these things, Pocket, is that this app called Readwise. Anybody get into this? Readwise? Let's go into the library here. Let's go into everything. So Readwise, what Readwise does is it sucks up all your Kindle highlights only. It sucks up all your Instapaper highlights only. And it separates the books from the articles. So I have books from Kindle that it brought in from my Kindle account when I hooked it up. I should start there. So you can sync all these things to Readwise. Mine are a Kindle, which for whatever reason keeps getting unconnected here. I don't know why. Maybe because my Kindle's down. Yeah, see, I got my password. I can just put that in there. I don't have to show you guys. Okay. So go back to Readwise, see if it fixed it. That's not where I want to be. Oh, I see what happened. Yeah, whatever. Anybody want to read Sea of Thieves? Well, I'll work on that. Don't worry about Kindle. So Instapaper right here, I'm going to sync it now, even though it'll do it automatically, like every hour, but sometimes you have to force it. But I just want to quickly show you this little road tour here. That's all. You're not going to memorize all this, but that's okay. So now if I go to my articles, that PC, that magazine, and I click on it, it only has those 2 highlights. So it's doing that for all my highlights from my books. So let's look at books. So I've been reading The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. Love it. And I've been just highlighting areas of this book through Kindle, and it's automatically bringing in just the highlights. Now, it's really cool. Now, supposedly, if I click on this, it's going to, I probably shouldn't have done it because it's going to try to open up my Kindle and go right to that page. But these locations you can click to, and that's exactly what it did. And it'll open up your Kindle and it'll go right to that quote if you want to read more on it or do more research on it. So I want things that are easy, very slick, very, I don't want to do anything. Basically, I just want to send the article to Instapaper, select the highlights and walk away. And within an hour, all my highlights are going to be all in my library right here. And either the books or supplemental books, which you can put in even if you don't own. I've been reading, of course, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's a good book. And then these are my articles. And I don't know. I just love the idea. Now, if you just want to browse, you can do that. I don't know if you can just you can do favorites. I still haven't played with a lot of this stuff. You could look through just the tags. If you have, tags, you want to go, okay, I tag some things as a journey. It'll pull up all highlights related to that. So it's a very unique way of bringing everything that you have in your life. I can't keep all this stuff together. It drives me crazy. All right. Yeah, it's true. So if anybody's talking about that, John, it has been a hard thing everything's getting rare. I don't know who dropped that down, but yeah, it's very difficult. It's not llama. No, you guys will never guess my password. I can tell you that right now. That's never going to happen. It's not 123. John, no. No. What it do? It'll do. Here's the thing. It depends on how you're doing your site. So if it's a website, Darlene, if it's a website and you're reading it, say on Chrome or something that has that, it can get that browser, which it's everywhere. It's on the phones. It's on every browser. It's on Mac. It's whatever. It's one of the most used collectors there is. There's no reason. It should work on any website you're on. It doesn't matter if you have to log in or not. So I guess, I don't know for sure. You could send me a link in the email and I'll test it out for you if you want. I'm not sure if it's a logged in thing or not, but so now the final piece to this, of course, is we've got our website and we hit the little extension and it sends it to Instapaper. It creates automatically the Instapaper. And from there, I hate when it does this. I'm blaming the app. You go in and you highlight, you're done, you walk away. And then Readwise will pull it in and put it in all your bucket here. And if you want to read it later, you can delete them. You can do another cool thing you can do. Sometimes you get a cool thing and you want to share it. It's got this neat share function and it puts the article title, who the author is, where it's from, and you can kind of dress it up a little bit and send it out. And you have a couple different types of looks. So I think that's kind of neat if you really want to pump out some shares. I think that's very, very cool. And then the last thing, as a Notion user, that's my practical gathering tool for everything in my life at this point, from creating or practice. I've got a whole thing. I've created a whole section to my lessons for drumming from my drum instructors in LA, for my own practicing, for my reading. I have all my tools that I bought, all the tools that I want. I do my video planner, do my live stream planners in there. And some other things. I've got a personal wiki I'm working on in there. But at the end of the day, Readwise integrates. So that tool that brought all these in, Readwise, you can connect it to Notion for free. And it creates in Notion. Now, some of you don't use Notion, but this is Notion. And these are all of your stuff you can make. It automatically integrates and dumps this in. It builds it for you. I didn't build anything. I just hooked it up in 2 seconds. It drops this in. It brings everything in as it should. So these are the articles, and you can see this article here. It's going to look a little different. It fills all this in, the title. It fills in the links, your last highlights. It knows it's an article. It knows that you have 2 highlights, and then you have the highlights here. And again, if you want to click, you can go to that actual article or the Kindle book. And you'd say, well, why would you spend the time doing this? Well, I didn't spend much time doing it. In fact, I spent maybe an hour hooking it all up one night and maybe another half hour understanding how it works. But here's the thing. If you are in the Notion, and even if you're not, I'll go down here. Look at the book version of this. So it even brought in all the book covers. It's beautiful. I didn't do this. It did it. You can sort, you can search, you can do all sorts of things. Going back into the talent code, this is how it structured it for me. Dropped all these highlights. And you say, well, why does this matter? Why would you care? Well, at the end of the day, this is where everything I store in my life goes. Notion. And so a lot of this information, guess where it's going to end up? This is content that these highlights are what I'm going to use eventually for live streams or for video planning. So let's say I got a video plan. I've got a couple video plans here. And I'm going to create a new plan here. I'm going to create it from a project tracker here. Let's see if it fills in. Not sure if I picked the right template or not. Here it comes. Okay. So this is my template. All right. So this is a template I would use to build a new stream. Okay. I've got all my video meta that I can make over here. I can create titles, add title ideas, thumbnail ideas, keywords. I might maybe have sponsors. I have a checklist I can go to for editing. It all just fires up when I create a new plan. And then if I want B-roll, I can add where my B-roll is going to go and blah, 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 blah. Resources here. Everything is already automatically put there. So anyway, the point being is I can easily integrate the information I just got from Readwise and use it into these ideas here and build out my either my stream or a video that I want to do in the future. So, but everything now can be developed from within Notion, and I don't have to go back to Kindle or Medium or the websites or anything and read through the articles. It's just too much time. We don't have time. Time is money. Okay. So it's not going to happen. Look who's here. Brandon Looney Tunes fan 2000. How you doing? First of all, Looney Tunes. Who doesn't love Looney Tunes? Oh my God. We were just doing kind of, I'm going to bring myself back. We were just kind of doing a throwback to my life, which kind of puts me back into the heart of Looney Tunes. And I was such a fan growing up of Looney Tunes. Yeah, big fan. So thanks for coming in. Thanks for saying hi. What's up, Doc? I do appreciate that. Everybody drop what your favorite Looney Tune character is. I think I had this discussion once with you. I go all over the map. I like so many of them. It was really hard for me. I don't like the standards. I mean, Bugs Bunny or them. Those were never my guys. But Yosemite Sam, I was a kid. I think I did get into that. Well, this is useful. It is useful. And I'm not trying to I wasn't really trying to throw how to actually use everything tonight. This was more of an awareness of the apps that I use. I don't know. I'm always curious what other people use to collect and gather. This is something for me and other people I talk to, and being a creator is really tough. We keep hoarding information along the way, so we have information to learn, but it doesn't do us any good because we never really go back. It's like buying up all the comic books in the world and all the shoes in the world, and we stack them all in the garage, and then we never know what we have. Some people might. I don't. So at the end of the day, we need to be able to use the information, no matter what that information, if it's tech gear, resources for how to do DaVinci, how do I use F11 to be more efficient with DaVinci, those kind of things, right? So in order to incorporate them, I want to get them into one ecosphere and not think so much, because John will tell you I overthink. Yes, I know. Lala, I've seen the back behind you. I've seen behind you, but you're made for that. So now Friday, if I pull this off, Lala, Friday with your group on Friday morning early, because you're in the Philippines, I will be doing a crafty planner for your group. So we will be creating not a video planner, so to speak, but no way, but a crafty planner. So it could be a crafty planner for streaming, or just a crafty planner for your group that you're going to have, or maybe it's for kids that are they're going to do a class, and it's going to be set up the same idea what I'm showing here. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I liked Foghorn Leghorn too. So they say what? Now say what, boy? That was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think. The Martian, somebody else I think mentioned Martian. Mommy. Yeah, the Martian was cool. Yeah, Foghorn. Who's somebody else? Elmer Fudd. I don't know. I didn't care for Elmer Fudd so much, did I? Nah. There are a lot of side characters that people don't even talk about, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. This throws me a little bit. Why is my wife saying Foghorn Leghorn? Really? You did? Maybe because you owned a chicken when you were young. She did. She had chickens in her shed. Was that too private, Aim? So, yeah, okay. I'm going to pull this out. We need to hop onto the minimalist wagon soon. Trying to be a minimalist, trying to be productive, it's not easy. In fact, it can be a toxic relationship trying to do it. And I really have found myself fighting it in all seriousness. I have learned a couple things along the way. Don't fall in love with an app. If it's not working with you, don't use it. Any tool that's not working give it a fair shot, but don't continue it on because other people are using it. Notion being one of them. Problem with Notion, there's a lot of problems with Notion. And the problem with Notion is, unlike all the other productivity apps like Evernote, Todoist, Trello, all my love, by the way, those apps have walls set up. They have a specific purpose with the mechanisms in place, and you just start going, plug and chug. The problem with Notion, it's so wide open. There are no walls. It's like a blank canvas and it says go. And you can do so many things. And so unlike all those other ones where you start here and you just kind of drill down, you create folders, more folders, more folders. Use their tools. Notion is like, yeah, you can do that, but you can also do this, and you can do this, and you can do 3D. And so it's so different. However, the relational databases that you can build in Notion is the deal breaker. But with Notion, I will only tell you this. If you're going to get into Notion, and we'll talk about this Friday morning, Lala, but start slow, and then start slower than slow. There's no need to go too fast. Go slow, let it build. People try to do too much with Notion too fast, and it's a disaster. Go slow, figure out what you need, augment, try again. I can't tell you how many times I canned an idea because it wasn't working and maneuvered. But most of the time with Notion, you can just flex it, change it on the fly. So, it's all good. Really? So Tina says, I can't be a minimalist, but I just get rid of the ones that I don't and won't use anymore. Yeah. Minimalist in your life, and being a minimalist with software is also very difficult because you get trapped into these ecospheres, right? You get trapped into Google Drive. People want to collaborate either with Dropbox or can we pick one? Can we just have, no, we can't. And that becomes such a difficult thing because we have to work with other people often and we're stuck. And now people like John are fed up with me because I sent him a link saying, hey, you got to get Notion, we got to collaborate, which is a great collaboration tool. And a thing like Notion does integrate with Google Drive, everything. Dropbox, you can bring stuff in. We'll get into that another day, but that app is just insane what it can do. I'm not gonna lie. And Patrick's not here anymore, but he knows. He's really good at it. Brian, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Brian says, I like the idea of being a minimalist, but then what would I do with all my stuff? Well, if they're camera related or lens related or light related, I'm a 5-hour drive from you and we needed to get a hot dog and a beer anyway. So we're all good. It was the accent with Foghorn Leghorn. And he was funny. I mean, some of them aren't funny. Sylvester the Cat really didn't do it for me. I think I outgrew him and Tweety Bird really quick. I don't think it wasn't Looney Tunes. Well, no, Roadrunner, right? Roadrunner's Looney Tunes. I love Roadrunner and the Coyote. That was awesome. The fact that these two don't speak a word and was captivating for a half hour in the mornings, kind of crazy when you think about it. But let's see. John, there's probably more truth to this than he wants to admit. John says, when I learn a few of these techniques, there'll be no stopping me. Probably true. I don't think John has a lot of weaknesses. We all have weaknesses, but I know he said that his weakness is trying to organize these gathering ideas and these planning tools in a way that he can think less and that he can have things accessible. And I saw that early on with this venture. And maybe I got too deep into it. I started overthinking, oh my God, I'm going to get overwhelmed. I can't even get a stream up without slapping mics and doing things. So, it's going to be a problem. So I got into it right away and really dumpster dived. But, I think John, sometime this year, he'll get into it. And Dr. Elil, if I didn't say hi, I saw you were in here very early, Max, before the stream went up. I just want to say hello, and I hope you were doing well. Thank you for jumping in and being part of the tribe, being part of these creatures of YouTube. Means a lot to me. We're soloing tonight. John is here in spirit, but he is not here. And as you see, this is John tonight. John, I almost did it. John, I almost put a giraffe or you as the banana up on the other side. I was going to do that and leave you up there and talk to you for about 20 minutes and see if anybody noticed. I don't think they would have noticed because you're so quiet and docile and you don't jump in or try to dominate a conversation. All right. They'd notice. I miss you, John, but thank you for coming here and supporting me. It means everything to me. And I saw that John was on Sunday and John bought a new piece of gear. Of course, he has the Wave with the VST3s. Then he bought the DBX, the 286 hardware to put in front of his interface to see. And I think he was comparing. I saw the VST3 approach, the software approach versus the hardware approach. And him and I were talking about that. There are pros and cons of that. And John always lays that out very well. I'm going to be doing the same thing as John on a personal one-to-one note, just ignoring chat for a second. I talked about getting a DBX 286 member. And then my buddy who owns a studio was here the other day and he said, why would you do that? You have 2 Eureka preamps. You've got an ACP88 with 8 channels and another and a DBX in the bottom, an older one, but you have one. His point is you have more than what the DBX 286 will give you. What are you talking about? But then he says to me, as a studio guy, I'm telling you, don't do it. But, do what you got to do. No one cares. Just a banana. Yeah, just a banana. I love the banana. I still haven't decided if he was better as a banana or a giraffe. I think we tried to run a poll a couple weeks ago, and it was kind of down the middle. I thought nobody really ended up doing it. So we went there. We'll get John on. By the way, John, did you guys check before we go? We're gonna hang around too long tonight because I gotta do stuff. But did you guys check out? Not this guy, because I'm gonna learn how to work my stuff on his desktop. It's kind of funny because we don't need tickers. No, we didn't need that. We didn't need that. Okay, here's what we don't need. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is swap this out. Did you guys go? Did you dump into this at all, Elo? And I don't think Sammy's here, but all you other techers, did you guys look into the Stream Deck pedal? $89. I'm kind of interested into it. So Stream Deck has come out with something that I thought we've talked about might be a cool deal. John, this might be right up there with why they weren't going to put faders right on the Wave XLR right away, because maybe they were doing other things that were going to be interesting, such as feet for a Stream Deck. You bought it. Of course you did. Yeah, I'm going to buy this too. Absolutely. So in a nutshell, I believe it's got three different options here to step on, but it also has automatic profiling. So it can be different things depending on what app you have open or what application you're going to do. So I'm absolutely going to buy the, so Dr. Leo says he's thinking of buying it. Of course he, yeah. So John did. I mean, we're not shocked. Of course he bought it. Yeah. I'm at $89. That's a great, I think that's a great, it's a great buy for $89. From what I saw, I might get it or hate it, but I think it's worth it. There's definitely some cool vibes that I saw in the demos about why I'd want this for streaming, but also for other applications, it might be cool, like with DaVinci even. Beyond that, I'm not exactly sure, but let's say even as a musician, so if I'm set up to record or do something, I think that could be a really cool way to just tap down, and I'm using both my feet anyway. And Jim, I did see you make a comment earlier. I apologize. I'm all over the place tonight. I'll get better at chat on the solo version, but let me see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually try to pull up Jim, because I wanted to find your comment. There it is. Look at that. I do like the search function in the social. So Jim, I know you had asked earlier, you'd love to see a video of the drum performance. I'm not sure of a particular drum performance you're talking about, unless you mean when I was in Europe. That's so long ago, I don't even know if we have video of that, but I've got video and other things of things I did in the last 20 years that I've been holding on to. It's just stuff that, you know, I don't know how much people are really interested. This is not why I got into YouTube, and I don't know. It wasn't something that I wanted to lose focus on right away, but as I go through my channel, everybody, and I appreciate everybody who was here tonight. We're going to end here in about 5 minutes, but you know, my branding now is going to start to come out over the next 6 months to a year, and my streams aren't going to be like John's. Like John's aren't like mine or anybody else's, right? We have unique DNA to our videos. My videos are going to be more about my life as a creative, whether it's working in websites, doing editing. I've been starting to film with a buddy of mine, filming authors doing their audiobooks and doing trailers as a paying gig. So we're starting to look at that and maybe reaching out for other companies to do some small setups like that for musicians, filming small documentaries, or maybe something for the website or even for the YouTube channel. And so I can learn a lot and present a lot there. And then as a musician, I had always wanted to have my drum instructors work with me for a year-long docu-series about me trying to learn things that I can't play. 'Cause I'm an okay drummer. I'm not a world-class drummer, but I'm okay. I can get the job done. But there are things I would love to try to reach into. So I have a friend who's touring now worldwide with Cataclysm, James Payne. He's a real dear friend of mine from Milan, Italy. And he's one of the best instructors, along with Bruce Becker, who is in LA. One's more jazz, like Bruce-ish, and James is just straight up death metal. I don't play death metal. I don't listen to it. But I want to take his teachings for a year as a non-death metal and do a video journal of that. Things I learn, things I do to try to get better, things I do to try to record those practices and log them, show the hardships of trying to learn something new at a high level and the gains of that and what you go through, because being a musician is really hard at a certain level, and even at any level, trying to learn something, a language or an instrument, is very difficult. And I'd like to record that. I think people have a mistaken perception of what musicians, even world-class musicians, go through. And I'm not a world-class musician, but what people go through to become better at their craft. And I would like to expose that a little bit. And he's agreed to do that with me, James. Even if he's on tour, he's agreed to do it. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. So my channel is going to be about all those things, but it's going to be centered around the tools that we use: gear, tech, productivity, drum heads to interfaces, right? It's still tech, gear, and apps, websites, but it's going to be how I use it. It's not going to be me running around going, oh, somebody sent me 4 different interfaces and now I'm going to set them up and do tests for you. I'm not that guy. It's not going to happen. I would say that John's better suited for that, honestly, and people should send him things and they should get their stuff tested. He'll do a great job. That's not me, but that's what makes John and I so fun and good together. We're not the same guy. Just do an upload if you still have it. There's no video, unfortunately, that I have. There's some 8-track tapes or recordings. No, we played Washington, D.C. We played for the president, and I think they did a recording of that. Maybe I can find that. That was actually very cool. I'll work on that. That's a different day, different time. Jim remembers the DBXs, by the way, from the late 70s. They made an impulse noise reduction. Well, you have all the stuff in your head. Yeah, I mean, DBXs are great, and if you're going to use them, you're not going to go wrong. The nice thing is they can offload a little bit of your CPU, but for what I'm doing, it's not really something I care to do. It could be something that I do, though, when I record drums. So it's different. So that might be the case. And Jim, you got another one here. Okay. And I know why you have the other ones, because I think I dumped back in here. But musicians that play drums or guitar like pedals. Yeah, I mean, I like anything you can use your feet, because it's a wasted appendage, people. Use it. So thanks, Jim. Let me get back in here. Good night, Laquita, Corey. Off to see the Sandman keeps whispering. I hear you. We're going to get off in a second. Stream Deck pedals not there for you yet, Lala. Yeah, you'll have to wait. John will probably get a review up before I do, but I'm excited nevertheless to use it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was on the wrong screen. Oh, I'm not on the screen. Thank you. You need reminders when you're soloing. Happens. Thank you. Yeah, I think the plans have some merit. I'm excited, so I hope this works out. Oh, they're out of stock? Of course they are. John probably bought 100 of them. He's probably selling them already on Facebook Marketplace. That's a bummer. Yeah, John, thank you for stopping in, brother. I'm out of here anyway. It's 9:30. I said I would go to 9:30. And so I want to thank everybody who jumped in here. TH2, hello, goodbye. Here we go. Boston Don, how you doing? Yep, we're on Tuesdays. John will be back next Tuesday. We'll get back to our little more our tech-savvy dual whatever we're doing, our normal routine. But look, I appreciate everybody that walked in here. Tina, you, Don, thanks for stopping in. TH2, I don't care if it's 2 seconds. It means a lot. I got through a solo stream on my own tonight. Smooth enough. Thank you, Cashew, for reminding me when I'm not on business. I don't have my full screen up tonight, so that caught me off guard, so I appreciate that. Jim Boswell, I can't thank you enough for showing up and supporting. You've been a wonderful guy as well. Cashew, what can I say? Everybody knows what you are. You're a golden wrench isn't good enough. What can we move you to? Is platinum higher than gold? I think it is. Or you can have, what's that spice they use in Dune, the book Dune? You're a spicy moderator. You've got all the spice. So this was the first night. I appreciate it. Some nerves. Most of the nerves are about trying to figure out without somebody like John to bounce off of to buy time, how my timing was going to be maneuvering. Some mistakes, none that matter. But I appreciate everybody coming in and helping, because we had some people here tonight that were here to have some discussions and guide me through. I probably need to do chat better, but I got off into show and tell there, but that's okay. Again, not a problem. I'm gonna just go back and see if anybody I missed, because I really feel inclined. No, we're good. Again, thank you for showing up. We'll be here next Tuesday. Remember, John is not streaming on Thursdays. That doesn't mean, I should say this. We got to get this clear. John is not firing up with me a normal stream on Thursday. It doesn't mean he won't pop up sometime on Thursday. You know what I mean? It could happen. I could pop up on a Thursday. It just means him and I are not doing Thursdays because we're trying to focus on the video creations and get some videos out so we can... Look, the goal right now at our stage is to firm up a brand, make YouTube figure out where to find us, find some more of our people, and then come back to Tuesdays and to even more things a year from now with a bigger base to work with. That's what we're doing. We're scheming. Okay, it's all a scheme. Thank you, Dr. Elo. I mean, that means a lot. Someone that solos all the time like you do, and very well, I might add. That means a lot to hear. I appreciate that so much. Vinny, thank you for stopping in. I wish I was closer, because you would be fun to hang out with, and I can see why John thinks so much of you, man. I really do. So yeah. What is this? Don, you want to donate some time to a VMix call? Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be doing some solo pop-up streams, and if any of you cats ever want to jump on with me, you know, we should work that out. I appreciate that. Thank you, Cashew. It means a lot. Titanium? I don't know. Titanium. It doesn't have... It's hard. Titanium moderator. Titanium wrench. I mean, it is probably... Whatever that stuff that Thanos had in the rings. In the glove. We'll go with that. I don't know what that was all about. Yeah, saffron. That's exactly what it was. You know what? Thank you, Lala. Thank you for coming in and supporting. And I'll see you on Friday morning. I look forward to getting crafty with Notion with you and your community. I think that should be a lot of fun. I'm learning along the way doing this, because you got to do to learn. So I appreciate all that. And fire this up for you guys. So, you know, we'll see. I'm going to come up next week. We'll come up with some fun stuff. I'm going to find some interactive stuff to do with chat. What'll probably happen is on my streams on Tuesdays, John will be here for that hour, and he may decide to stay longer, but he's not going to hold him longer than an hour. If he decides to leave, I'm going to hold a kind of free-for-all with the chat at that point and have a half hour or so of us just doing some things. Maybe we'll talk about music, movies, whatever. It could be related to chat. It may not. I don't care. It's just a time for me to be able to hang out with you guys and do this, because somebody asked me, do I regret? I've had a lot of discussions, not only in my head with some of you, about do I regret starting in a very awkward way with YouTube, because I did, and that I didn't produce one video for like 8 months. I only did live streams. And that's kind of ass backwards a bit, unless that's what you're going to do. Now you can do live streams fully, and that's what you do, right? But if you want to be found and you want to do it through videos, or you have a certain thought, videos are your best bet, especially if you want to get monetized. Now with monetization, everybody wants to have a milestone of that, but at this point, I'll be honest with you, I've gotten to the point in my life where monetization, it's not so much a goal for me as it's going to be just a result. I can't focus on that. I'm going to focus on trying to do better work, being more consistent, being in some of the people to come here and support me. I need to be more in your streams and being in contact with you, but I need to put out better content, and I need to get this channel where it needs to be. I need to put out no less than 30 videos in 2022. And I plan on doing it, maybe more. And that's going to take a lot of work, a lot of dedication. But to answer the question, no, I have no regrets doing 8 months of streaming first. Not because I learned a lot, because I did. But I'll say it again, the people that I met along the way were more instrumental to set me up for a better run in 2022 than me going it alone. I really believe that. That's just me. I'm not saying everybody else to think that way. I need people. I like to have people. I don't need people. John will say I don't need people. Probably I don't want to speak for John, but I'd like to have a core group of people around that just exist to have that support back and forth. Okay, so for me, I like that. I feel like I moved around so much as a youth. Some of you know that. I moved like 20 times by the time I was born, by the time I graduated high school. 20 times. Think of that. That's nuts. And I was never stationary. And so I learned quickly to find a small social gathering that I could find. And that always made me comfortable in that setting for the year I was there. And I'm doing the same thing here, I think, where I'm like, that's fine. I'm just going to use some time to build friends and groups, because in the end of the day, I don't see any other point. Okay. I don't see the point. So yeah, money, people do for money, that's fine. I mean, again, that's a result, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a milestone and shooting for it. If I get to monetization, then maybe I'll take that to another level. But right now, that's too far out of my radar. That'll just be a result of doing good work. So yeah, thank you, Cashew. You know what you're talking about. Do the activity and the results will follow. Yeah. As they say, I told Cashew about a quote. We were having a conversation through email, and there was a quote. And it's the same story, but basically saying you got to love the ocean before you love the shores, the sand on the shore. And it's a long trip crossing the ocean. So you have a choice. You got to either be miserable and just thinking only about the shore, or you got to start enjoying the ocean a little bit. And I'm just going to enjoy the ocean a little bit with my people on my boat. As long as we're not at Titanic, I think we're in good shape. So, yeah. All right, people. I'm out of here, but I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out to the end. We will see you next Tuesday. Look for any pop-ups between John and I in between the Tuesdays. Starting February, I'll get back to video making, and I'm excited for that. But other than that, I want to just wish you all a lovely night, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Appreciate everything you guys are next time. Let's go, people. We're out of here.